Hey guys, Lewis here with Website Bytes and welcome to our first tutorial on the new channel. Today we're going to be looking at setting up your local machine for web development. We're going to be looking at three fundamental programs, which are Sublime Text, Filezilla and Xampp. These, in my opinion, are the three programs you fundamentally need to get started in web development, start learning it, start developing all different types of languages, and for publishing those documents, those files, onto a server somewhere so that you can view them online. There are hundreds of different programs you can install for web development that cover a huge amount of different tasks. However, the videos that will be coming out on this channel are aimed to teach people from the absolute beginning. So to get you started, these are the three programs that you're really going to need in order to A, follow along with all the tutorials that will be coming out on this channel, and B, really to get your foot in the door in terms of web development and give yourself the best environment to work in. So without further ado, let's head over to our preferred web browser, and the first program we're going to look at is Sublime Text. So if you just type it in on Google, I'll leave all the links to these in the description as well, so you don't have to worry about not downloading the right one. So head over to the download page, which in this case is the home page, and what Sublime is a text editor at its core. So if you don't want to download Sublime, you can also use things like Notepad, Notepad++, you've got Atom, Visual Studio Code, Adobe Brackets. These are all different text editors, which is exactly what Sublime here is. So it's a very simple installation, you can fly through it. Nothing to catch you out there, and that's Sublime installed. We're going to come back to the configuration of this a little bit later on in the video. We just want to get all the programs downloaded first. So the next one that we're going to do is Filezilla. Filezilla is a FTP program, or for those smart ones out there, it's File Transfer Protocol, which basically means this is the program that we're going to use to connect to the server of which the domain is pointed to. So example.com is pointed to this server. We're going to connect to that server so that we can upload our files to that server, and when someone visits the domain, they're presented with the website. So head over onto their download page here. We're going to download it for Windows. If you get this option, choose the right one. You don't need the Filezilla Pro, not necessary. So once that's downloaded, we'll load it up and install this one as well. Again, quite a simple installation. However, it does kind of get you to download some or install some extra programs. So just be aware of that when you click next, and here. We do not want Bing. Definitely not. We do not want Avast free antivirus, thank you. Who uses Bing? Absolutely nobody. So once Filezilla is installed, we don't want to run it now because we're going to be coming back to it a little bit later on. A final one that we want to install is Xampp. So on this channel, we're going to be covering PHP as well, and PHP is a server-side language, which means it can only be executed in a server environment. So obviously you can't execute PHP in that case on a local machine. You need an emulator to simulate a server environment for the PHP to be executed in, which is exactly what Xampp does. Obviously, if you're new to web development, which I imagine a lot of you are watching this video, if I'm overthinking or over talking stuff, don't worry about it at all, because I'll be covering it all in later videos. I tend to ramble quite a lot, so don't worry if I'm talking about things you have absolutely no idea about, so we'll be covering them in due course with the rest of the videos coming out. But all you essentially need to know is, in order to write a PHP script and run it, you need Xampp to be able to execute it. Now you can load it straight away. However, with Xampp, it's a good idea to install it with, and you can see I've tried this tutorial before. It's a good idea to run it as administrator. So we'll run it as admin. And a good thing about Xampp as well is it comes with PHP MyAdmin and MySQL, so you can practice your database stuff in it as well, which is really cool. Again, don't worry about it. I'll cover all that in another video. When you get to this page, it's a good idea to leave all of these ticked. There's no harm in unticking them. It's not like it's not going to work, but they are all useful in their own right, so it's probably a good idea. You might as well install them. Here you can change the directory it's going to get installed to. The reason why this is significant is because inside of the Xampp folder, wherever you choose to store it, a htdocs folder will be created, and inside that folder is where you're going to put your PHP and whatever other web scripts you want to run. So make sure it's in a place that you remember, you can get to quite easily. We're going to click next because I'm just going to install it in the C drive, nice and easy, and then next, and it will begin installing. This is going to take a couple of minutes to install. It's quite a weighty program, there's a lot to it, so we're going to minimize out of that for the time being, and instead head over to Sublime Text 3, where we're going to install a couple of plugins which will help you along the way of learning to design and code for the web. Now, Sublime Text is a paid program, so you do have to register it. However, the licenses aren't much, and in comparison to the other text editors out there, it's amazing, absolutely amazing, and love it to bits. So the first thing that you want to do when you load into Sublime Text is Control Shift and P. This will bring up kind of like a search console, and in here we want to search for package control, and you'll get install package control. Simply click it, wait a second, and what this will do is install a kind of a lookup system, if you like, into Sublime Text, where we can now just directly search for plugins. So press Control, Shift and P again to bring up your same console. Now when we type in package control, you'll see you get a lot more different options. The option we want to go with is package control install package, so click on that one. You'll have another little window pop up here, and all of these are all plugins that you can install for Sublime Text 3, and simply click on it and it'll install it straight in. There's a lot of videos on YouTube and there's a lot of articles online about this plugin's better than that plugin for this. Fundamentally, these are the ones that you're really going to need. You've probably noticed the program looks absolutely awful, so what we're going to do, here we go, so this is Xampp installing itself here, so we'll click allow access, because obviously it will be making its own servers and things like this, so looks like we're getting close to it being done, which is quite impressive. Didn't take as long as I expected. So we'll wait for this to be done, then we'll crack on with Sublime Text. But yeah, you've probably noticed Sublime Text doesn't look very nice. You can install a huge amount of themes. No, we don't, and finish. Fantastic. So the one that I like to use, this is obviously completely personal preference, is the material theme. So stop typing material. It is material theme, exactly how it's said there. Click it again, you'll have to wait a couple of seconds. You can see down the bottom left, whenever you're installing a package, this little equal sign bounces forwards and backwards while it's downloading and installing or whatever. And on some plugins, you'll have a tab perfectly timed that loads up like this. Material theme also makes icons down the left hand side slightly different. So if it asks you to download a file icon package, just click install. And what that will do is download all the extra little icons that it needs and makes it nice and pretty. So you can see that's also been added on down the bottom here now. In order to activate this, we're going to go to preferences and then color scheme, and then you can see in here you can choose loads of different color schemes. Personally, material theme darker is the one I like to go with, so click on that and then go to preferences and theme, and then choose the darker theme again. So that's your Sublime Text looking nice. You can hold down Control and zoom in if you want to, or use the scroll wheel side to zoom in. The next one we're going to install is Emmet. I'll be doing a video on Emmet in its entirety a little bit later on, but essentially what it does is it helps you kind of speed up your code, if you like. So again, what we'll do, Control Shift P, install package, and Emmet is spelled E-M-M-E-T. Click on that and that will get Emmet installed for us as well, and you can see that's installed down here. Fantastic. I'll show you an example of that in a second. Fourth one, advanced new file. Probably not 100% necessary, but it is very handy when you're trying to create new files, rename files, move files, things like this. Very handy to have. So we'll go advanced new file, click on that. and we'll see that installed. And then the last one that we're going to look at is Sidebar Enhancements. So package control, install package, and then Sidebar Enhancements. Click on that, and that will get that one installed as well. So in order for us to see the sidebar, go to View, Sidebar, and then Show Open Files, and you'll see that it will pull up the whatever files are open here, for example. So this is obviously this document here. If we click the X, you'll see that it goes away, and then if we go File, New File, it will create a new file for us. So I'll show you a quick example of what Emmet does. In order for us to do that, we're just going to File, save this into the documents. I'll just call it emmet.html. Essentially what Emmet does is you can define little keywords. So if you do exclamation mark and then tab, it creates the basis of a HTML document for you. And then if you do just a dot, like a period, a full stop, and then my div and then tab, it creates a div with the class of my my div. Huge amount of things you can do with Emmet, but as I said, I'm going to cover that in a later video. Don't worry at all about that now, not needed. In terms of the knowledge of it, I'll cover that in a little bit later on. But that is Sublime Text installed and all set up, so you can write all your code out in here. You can get it all looking fancy, very nice. So that's Sublime Text, absolutely fantastic. Make sure you go and register it. Brilliant program, definitely worth it. So the next one that we're going to cover is Filezilla. So head over to your Filezilla program, and it looks a little complicated at first. Trust me, it's not. So with Filezilla, the main things that you need to focus on are host, username, password, and port. Port you'll never really need to put in, but the host, the username, and the password you'll get from your hosting company where you host the domain. And by putting those two details in and then clicking connect, you can connect into the server, which you'll have down here. And then obviously the file browser on your left here is your local machine. So we can head into documents, we can head into websites, you can find whatever website you want, and then you can upload the file straight to it. So emmet.html, for example, double click on that and that will upload it. Alongside that, if you click the icon up the top left here, Open Site Manager, you can see you've got a folder in here called My Sites. So if you click on New Site, you can also fill out the information here, and then click Connect. And what that will do is save it into a little drop down here. So if you ever need to connect back to that website, or say you've got maybe 10 different websites that you've made in the past and you want to be able to make sure you can connect into them if you need to update anything, then add it all into the to the browser here, and you'll get a little list growing where you can just click on it and it'll connect you straight to the server. Not a lot I can really show you with Filezilla at the moment because we're not getting into the development yet, but as long as you have it set up and installed, that's the best thing. So as soon as we need that in a future episode, we've got it, which is fantastic. And then obviously the last one we're going to look at is Xampp. So this is Xampp on its first load. You're going to choose a language, click save, and then you'll get this dashboard here, which looks very nice. And it looks a little complicated. It's really not. The only main things you want to look at are Apache and MySQL. So, well, if you don't want databases, you don't have to worry about MySQL. In order to create a server in which to run our PHP documents in, Apache, start. That's literally it. That's all you need to do. And then in your browser, let's continue as guest. In your browser, then all you need to do is go to localhost, and this is your server. So in here it gives you a little bit of description about all the different things you can do with it. You've also got links to the phpMyAdmin, phpInfo to tell you what version number it is, and then so inside of your Xampp folder here is the HD docs folder I was talking about. And then inside of here is where you'll make your files, so to speak, right? So you don't have to worry about what I'm doing right now. What we're going to do is save a file directly into there just so that I can show you it working. So we'll call this video.php, and we'll make a PHP tag, and we'll just have it echo out hello world. We'll save that. And then if we go to localhost/video.php, you'll see hello world is being printed out, which tells us our PHP scripts are running successfully inside of Xampp, which is fantastic. So that's all 3 programs that we're going to need set up. And with those 3 programs, you're now going to be able to follow along with all of our future tutorials, some of which are already out. So if you head over to the channel, you'll see our HTML crash course. The CSS crash course will be coming out shortly, and then further down the line we'll be doing more development videos with PHP, JavaScript, and we'll also be doing courses on developing your own content management system in the future, login systems, things like this, online applications. So if you're brand new to web development and you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, hopefully this video showed you which programs to get installed, and stay tuned for future videos where we're going to be covering the main languages you need for web development from scratch, so that hopefully by the end of watching them all you will be able to go away and create your own complete website from the ground up. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, and if you are interested in learning about web development, hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified then, of course, of any new videos coming out. And if you want further information, you can head over to our website, bytes.uk. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. We'll post blog articles on there. You can interact with the website, view our YouTube videos, you can see course information, and you can also get in touch with us on there as well. So if you have any questions about any of this kind of stuff, head over to the contact page and send us a message, and obviously we'll reply as soon as possible. So thanks again for watching. Hope you did enjoy it, and hope to see you again in a future video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.